Hi guys!
Hey y'all!
Welcome back to Y'all Hearing This. My name is Kay. Thank you so much for coming and joining us.
Yes, and my name is Honeybee, or you can call me Bean, whichever you choose. Challenge time with me.
That's right.
Okay. Yes.
So this week we got more into Red Velvet, which has been so much fun.
Every time I think of Red Velvet, I just think of cake. Like they should be like called, like their fans should be called cakes.
Yeah.
Like hashtag cakes. Like
I know Red Velvet cake is one of my favorite cakes for sure.
You know, side note, why do they call it Red Velvet?
I think just because it's red.
Is it just because of the red?
Velvety texture.
Yeah. Interesting.
Yeah,
okay.
That's what I think anyway. I don't know. I could be wrong.
It's
Any
sweet
bakers
and
out
it's
there?
delicious.
That's right. But yeah, they're so good. I love their sound. I love that they have like dual concepts almost.
Yes. And we were trying to figure that out too.
Yeah.
And so the red is the cutesy, colorful, poppy, and then the velvet is the darker, more mature.
Yeah, more R&B.
Yeah, that type of sound.
Vibe.
Yeah. It's so just super dope.
And I like that the guide too said that their videos are weird because every video that we've seen from them has been very odd, but fun.
In the best way possible.
Yeah.
But just so... And I love that.
Yeah.
Because it's just it's like you're not watching the same thing. It's like you're not... I feel like, specifically, no shade, but I really do feel like they put women in, specifically female artists, whether you're a solo or in a group. I always feel like they make it so... This is notion that it's so predictable. What you're about to see, which a lot of it has to do with, their labels and what they decide to do with their artists. But I just always feel like that female artists tend to get kind of boxed in a little more. And it's just you have to go out there and be a diva and you have to be pretty and you have to do this and that. And it's here comes this girl group who are we're going to be whatever we want to be, but also we're going to be quirky and we're going to be fun and we're going to just do things that are outside of the box, and it just makes it refreshing. You know what I mean?
It really, really does. I forget the name of the song that we watched that it was almost like an Alice in Wonderland.
Yes!
Yeah.
And remember it kept the sounds, the actual sound of each section of the song. It almost sounded like it was 4 singles put into one.
Yeah.
And we were but it flowed so well.
Yeah.
It was it was very down the rabbit hole.
Yeah.
Very, very much so. It was
it
so
was
dope.
really cool. I'm really enjoying everything we're hearing from them. It was cool to get to know the members a little bit more. So we have Irene, Solgi, Wendy, Yeri. Oh, who am I forgetting? Irene, Solgi, Wendy. Oh no.
Wait.
Hold on.
Look, she knows out to ask. I'm horrible.
I'm looking.
I'm sure many of y'all know this at this point.
Yeah.
I am horrible with names.
I know Irene was the oldest. Yes. And then there we go.
Because wasn't it Irene then Wendy?
Irene, Yeri, Joy. That was the other one.
Okay.
So when Yeri joined, she was the 5th member to join. She joined a year later. But Irene was the oldest, so she's the leader and the mom.
Which I would have been interested to learn more about. What made them bring another... Because Because I know, y'all already know, Kay is the historian up in here, okay? Kay is the knowledge of all knowledge when it comes to K-pop.
Well,
but she's getting there. She's learning.
Right.
But in your, you just kind of researching K-pop and stuff, have you ever seen, just any group, but in this case, a girl group, just add somebody after?
So Dreamcatcher was an interesting one. So they were originally a 5-member group, and I can't remember the name, but they were very cutesy, poppy,
Oh, yeah, that's right. I remember.
And then they added, it was Guyan and what is her name? Handong. And then they totally rebranded them. So they were a totally different name even, but still under the same company. But then they all became Dreamcatcher, and that's when they had that darker theme, the one that they, in the rock and kind of stuff like that. So I know that's happened. I've definitely heard of people leaving groups, but I don't know that I've heard of someone coming in after, although it may be more common than I know. But
I thought that was really interesting, and I thought it was just... I felt like it was just, again, it was something that sets them apart than what you're usually expecting.
Yeah, so she's the youngest member. So I think it maybe was she was a trainee for a couple of years. So she probably was a trainee, and then they wanted another voice in whatever way.
Right.
She was Yeri's both a rapper and a vocalist.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, maybe they just needed something to fill out the sound or something.
Yeah.
If you guys know, definitely let us know.
Yes, please do. Let us know.
We'd love to know more about that for sure.
Yeah, I think that's just that was so interesting, and kind of basing, you know, that another thing that I saw off the guide that I thought was really cool is that usually most members are associated with an animal.
Yeah, they said that they had them. Oh, I think there was a little picture, but I don't think it said it.
Yeah,
like, outright.
But I saw like the fruit one was the one that threw me off because I was like, that's so dope because I'm so used to you know, seeing these guys and stuff.
Yeah,
and
I don't think I've seen a fruit before.
Me either. Yeah. Like that's I don't know. I found that to be different.
Yeah,
I think it's dope.
No, it's
I
cute.
think that's the biggest thing with Red Velvet is difference.
Yeah, and they seem like they seem all like sisters, like that they joke around with each other and like make each other's lives like
right, like we're gonna poke each other's buttons.
Exactly.
Like,
exactly.
That's so dope.
Yeah.
So I have a question for you.
Yeah.
So after watching that guide, obviously we love all the girls.
Yes,
because they are all so talented. But what is your what is it? Unbiased? Is that the right word?
Biased.
Or biased?
Biased.
What is your biased opinion of who do you feel you were drawn to more?
I really like Solgi because of her dancing. I love dancing. I love watching it so much. I mean, I loved her voice and everything too. But yeah, I really love, like, when we watched that dance practice, I could have watched that all day long.
Did you ever go to like things like, if y'all don't know, we're based in New England, in Rhode Island. Did you ever go to any of like the off the curb type of dance stuff that used to happen here over the years?
No, I've never really seen
you would have loved it.
I know.
Oh,
I
God.
would love to just go see people dance like
that. Yes.
I have gone to the ballet a couple times, like Nutcracker,
right?
Kind of things. And I've watched a ton and movies. I love dance movies so much. But the tutting that they did in that video was just, it was so amazing.
Remember we were talking about like the hand,
exactly.
like how precise you got to be. It was like.
Yeah, that was just amazing. So I think going into this, I was already a little biased towards her.
Just a little bit. Just a little bit. It's okay, girl.
It's all right.
You have the right.
That's right.
You know
what about you?
Girl, you know how I am and how I feel about vocals.
I do.
And you know I love my singers. Wendy Child.
Yeah.
Girl.
I know she was,
and for those who are listening, y'all, I'm making a stank church face like, like, sang heifer. Like, that's like a down south thing. When someone's really like, well, go ahead, sing then.
Right.
That's how I felt like watching that video, and then especially when I'm pretty sure. First of all, they all. They all were able to say, and that's why I was like so dumbfounded by like how just amazing.
Yeah,
these
and their
girls
main rapper
are.
just like pulls out this beautiful voice and like, yeah, it's just crazy.
Oh my God. And so when Wendy started singing, and I could be wrong, but I think Wendy was actually first, she was known for her high notes, but then also I think she, during her pre-debut, she did a cover of Beyonce's "Halo." I think that was who, and I was just like
hitting on the runs.
Everything, even like the way Beyonce's voice, like the way she switches like keys and like and
chest voice to
yes,
her vibrato and everything. Yeah,
like the vocal cracks and everything like was so smooth, and it was like. I was like, whoa, like, okay, sis can sang. Like, and she just, and also her fruit was, I believe, an orange. And, I love my citrus. So I was like, okay, girl. Like,
you
hey, Wendy,
way
girl.
more attention than I did. I didn't get the fruits at all.
I only caught, like, the fruit for her. And then somebody else, I think, was a watermelon. And I was like, okay, watermelon. I mean, I should connect to the watermelon more. No, stop. No, actually, in real life, I probably would have connected to the watermelon because I live for watermelon.
I love watermelon. It's like my favorite. One of my favorites. But it gets bad so quickly that it's tough to get some because I'm not gonna eat a whole watermelon. The supermarket the other day had Oh, we went to Trader Joe's the other day and I had mini watermelons. I was so tempted to get one just because it was the cutest thing I've ever seen. But then I was like, I'm not going to even eat a mini watermelon.
But then you could have called it, you could have like got it and called it like whoever's name the watermelon went to, you could have named it.
Oh, I know.
Like from whoever the watermelon from Red Velvet. If only
I had known. Back to Trader Joe's.
No, but in all seriousness, like I really love just Wendy's voice and everything. But all the girls were super talented.
Oh,
and
yeah.
It was just, they made me just really think about you know, obviously I was thinking about, you know, Bee's Corner, Bee's Nectar and everything. Yes. And they definitely made my choice a little bit easier, but it's going to be interesting to see if you can.
I have no idea who to even guess for this. I think we've already done them. I think I would have maybe guessed Spice Girls a little bit because they had both kind of that poppy sound and could also do like the dark
R&B and all that stuff. That would have been a good show. I actually...
But I know, you know.
Yeah.
Already, but.
And which I'm like, you know, this is our podcast, so if we want to switch it up, we can switch it up. Because I was like, there was a couple of times where I was like watching them, Red Velvet, and I was like, dang, they kind of remind me of En Vogue, like specifically being known for their harmonies and stuff. And I was like, they could have been, you know what I mean?
Yeah. So I was thinking that too, but then I know you use it A, and then B, because, you know, En Vogue didn't really have that other pop. Well,
no, I mean,
little, but it was
I feel like
way more R&B.
The dip that they did into pop was My Love and Never Gonna Get It. I feel like that was like the or Free Your Mind too.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But
even then, I'd still strong R&B.
It's still like
flavor.
funky.
Yeah,
like I mean, that album was called Funky Divas, so it's
right. So I truly have no idea, none.
So. Just to let everybody know, Bee's Nectar of the Week. If this is your first time listening, hey girl, hey. You know what I'm saying? Or hey child, hey. But Bee's Nectar of the Week is basically a segment where I will be taking the music of the artists that we are featuring that week and basically being like, if you like these, you know, artists, or in this case, Red Velvet, then I'm going to give you a suggestion of some artists outside of the genre of K-pop who you should listen to and you might like. Yeah. And they kind of relate to each other. So this week, and also too, every time we do Bee's Nectar, Kay usually guesses first. So
that's why I was guessing, but I'm out of guesses. I just have no idea where you're going to go with this one.
So this, I was trying to purposely pick a group that maybe I didn't, you know, say before. But this group, it's special because it is a little bit trickier. So you definitely got to be like, I guess like kind of like an R&B head to kind of guess who this is. But their song that made them famous is like definitely well known. Yeah. It's definitely been sampled a billion times. And I don't know. I love this group
is
so
it
much.
SWV?
Same era.
Okay.
Same era. Okay. That was close.
Sorry, I was thinking sampling.
No, but that was good. That was good. Okay. So the group that I picked.
I hate not knowing.
So the group I picked is a group called Brownstone.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So.
Okay. What's the song?
If you love me, say it. If you love me, do it. That's a yes!
Okay. Yes, I've definitely heard that name before.
Yeah. So I specifically picked this group just because Brownstone is known for vocals. They're known for singing. And what's also special about them is that what made me think of tying the two together is actually by the person who had kind of discovered them. Michael Jackson. A lot of people don't know that. Is that Michael Jackson like discovered them, and they were actually, I think his which I'm gonna get into their bio, but they were the first artists on his label back in the 90s. And the reason I picked them is because Michael Jackson reminded me of the Jackson 5 and how they were all multi-talented, and the Jackson 5 made me think of Red Velvet.
Yeah.
Like I almost pick the Jackson 5 as the group because
I could see that
they're
too.
all so talented and they're all just dimensional in their own gifts.
And they definitely had more poppy stuff and more R&B stuff. Yeah, that would fit.
Do you see what I'm saying?
I do.
Or like, I mean, you could have even picked... Yes! I mean, I could have even said the Supremes for them. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
Because I always try to stick in the 90s because I'm a 90s baby.
Yeah.
But I'm like, I gotta start branching.
I'm sorry.
I gotta start branching out.
90s R&B really can't be beat. I'm just saying.
I mean, you said it, girl.
I'm biased.
You said it, and it's true.
But
from your lips to the look.
Come on now.
So
there was so much good stuff.
So it's a quick little bio just about Brownstone. It's an all-female R&B trio that came to fame in the mid-90s. The original group members were Nikki Gilbert, Monica, Mimi Dobie, and Charmaine Maxie Maxwell. So they always were known as Nikki, Mimi, and Maxie.
Okay.
They released their debut album From the Bottom Up on Michael Jackson's MJJ music label, and it featured the #1 smash hit, If You Love Me. They also had another song on the album called I Heard It Through the Grapevine.
Oh, a cover of the Marvin Gaye?
So that's what everybody thinks, right? Yeah. But when you actually listen to it, it's their own, it's like that whole idea of I Heard It Through the Grapevine, they flipped it into like a 90s, like at the time period of from a woman's perspective. So that's why I think it's so dope. And it does not sound anything like I Heard It Through the Grapevine.
Oh, gotcha.
And what they're known for...
Sorry, I'm picturing some dancing raisins right now.
Right? What Brownstone is known for, and actually Brownstone is known for kind of like creating, is like, there's 3 girls in that group, right? But the way that they would stack their vocals, they always sounded like there was a full choir.
Oh, that's
and
awesome.
That had to do with Michael Jackson, which later on, and his production and how he, is so close to detail. These girls, when you hear the music, first of all, If You Love Me, which is their biggest song, so Brownstone's If You Love Me, and then Brownstone's I Heard It Through the Grapevine. Those 2 songs specifically off that first album, it's just like the vocals and everything reminds me of Red Velvet because they're known for their harmonies and they're known. And like even in the beginning of the guide, where they actually said that, what they're known for, and you actually see that moment of them just harmonizing and sitting together, it literally, when you hear those songs, it's going to make you think of the same thing because that's literally, it's just like as if the girls were just in the studio, just harmonizing together.
I love that when you get those harmonies or they have like the different, like when in the production, when they stack the voices and you get just that full sound.
Yes.
Oh, I love it. It gives you like chills. That
to me, growing up, side note, was I never knew what the wall of sound, what it meant. But like, it was kind of cool because I feel like that, like the way that I think of wall of sound is that.
Yeah.
I think of stacking vocals. I definitely think of like making your voice sound like an instrument.
Yes. I love that.
Listen, for real, like when I think of wall of sound, I think of just vocals on vocals, but I also think like there's like strings incorporated into that. It's just like a whole thing. But Brownstone, just finishing this off. Brownstone came out with their second album, Still Climbing, which at that point Mimi had been replaced by a girl named Kina Cosper. There's no elaboration on that. The second album yielded a solid top 5 hit, 5 Miles to Empty, but the group disbanded before the third album could materialize. And then Maxie ended up marrying one of the group's longtime producers, Soul Shock, who Soul Shock is actually a part of a producing group where they actually did a lot of famous songs that we know today.
Nice.
It
sounds familiar.
Yeah, Soul Shock and Karen are just like, oh my God, they did like JoJo's Leave, Get Out. They did Monica. They did songs, just everybody. And they recorded a number of dance-oriented singles overseas, but tragically, Maxie ended up dying in an accident at home, which was like really terrible. Kina ended up launching herself as an alternative artist, delivering a self-titled debut album on DreamWorks Records in 2000. And then Nikki Gilbert recorded a solo album, Grown Folks Music, and MCA Records in 2002. And it was shelved, but then released independently later on. And then the girls ended up getting back together within the last couple of years and kind of did like a reunion tour. And I believe it's the original members and then obviously somebody filling in for Maxie.
Right.
And they actually talk about in a recent documentary how losing Maxie really kind of stopped that reunion, but they decided that in her honor, they would have wanted her, to go on, and they want to, spread the love that she was known for, and also for her vocals and everything. Like Maxie could sing, you know what I mean? So they wanted to carry on the legacy. So they are, last time I saw, they are touring right now.
Oh, nice.
But just definitely go, check out their Instagrams and socials and all that.
Yeah, you know what I think is something too. So I know it may have stopped like the reunion originally, but especially if they broke up because there was fighting or something like that, having someone pass away makes everything get a little bit clearer and realize like, hey, you know what? Like that's like all petty stuff that we can figure out, and let's all get back together while we can get all back together.
Completely. Like it's just like, life is short.
Yeah.
And that was like, the lesson that you can get within that is just, let's get together. You know what I mean? Let's make this happen. You know what I mean? No matter what version of us we are, it's still going to be us. You know what I mean? So.
It's funny when you said let's get together. ATEEZ has a song called Let's Get Together. So let's get together.
See, I love how you said let's get together, and that makes you think of that. But then I think of Al Green, Let's Stay Together.
Yeah, as you probably should. No, it's just my weird little brain with my humongous ATEEZ flag.
I live for that flag. I know for you guys listening, you can't see, but if you go on our YouTube,
there's a humongous ATEEZ flag.
There is. It's like, it's big, and I'm living for it.
Like, let me tell you, when I get a house, I'm going to get that flag, but with rainbow. Like, rainbow colored. And it's going to be flying all the time.
Oh my God.
Wouldn't that be cool? I wonder if they make them. I'd have to look it up.
See, that'd be kind of
I'll have to see if they make it. If they do, I'm getting one.
Ooh, were you like growing up, were you a flag flying like family? Because
like we had like an American flag kind of thing, but my dad's a Navy vet, so he's very kind of I don't know, patriotic, I guess.
Yes.
It's funny because that term now kind of almost has a negative connotation.
Yes.
So I don't mean in that way is what I'm saying.
Yes.
My dad is a lovely man who everyone has their things, but nope, we're good. We're good.
That's so funny. I was
going to ask if did you guys have a flag?
I think my dad was military too, retired, and he definitely, hangs the American flag no matter what. And that's actually, this is like a nice little segue, into the Say What section. We're going to switch over to Say What. It's just basically a section for first time listeners where we just talk about anything. It could be related to what artists we're talking about or whatever, we're going to get into.
Because we obviously always totally figure out exactly what
every time
we have like a script and everything. Can't you tell that this is all very well planned?
Like, duh, guys.
Right? Like, I can't believe you would even suggest otherwise.
So anyways, what I was saying. So my family, we used to have an American flag, and it was because my dad, even to this day, regardless of what's happening in the country, he's like, I took an oath and I took a vow or whatever, and oath, vow, whichever. And I said I was going to serve this country, and I'm going to serve the leader of this country, regardless of how I feel about them. Like, this is what I'm going to do. And he takes it very seriously. You know what I mean? Even retired, regardless of what anybody says politically about anybody, my dad's just like, he still is in that brain set, like, it is what it is. And
he's the commander-in-chief.
We've had some unsavory people, and even at that point, he's still like, I took a vow. And I have a lot of respect for him for that.
Yeah.
Do I agree? No, I couldn't do it. You know what I mean? But I respect the values that he has.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because it's more so like, it's something that I feel like that, like, for whatever reason, it makes my dad look at him like, okay, that's a real man. Because, like, regardless of how you feel, like, you're going to do the job. And, like, for me, that takes so much courage and so much strength, especially as a black man. Like, I think there's something very powerful about that, and I find it very inspiring. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. And I think also there's a level of like respect that is totally missing from politics now.
Okay.
I mean, don't get me wrong, of course, always. There was always mudslinging, there was always this, there was always that. Yes. But I feel like we've gotten into such a place now. Now, I am a very lefty kind of
I feel that.
Like absolutely.
Girl,
like,
let me sip my grape Kool-Aid.
I mean, yeah.
Go, girl.
Yeah. So I totally understand. I mean, did I do a little cheer when Tucker Carlson got fired yesterday? Yes, I did.
Now, was I mad when Don Lemon got let go?
Well, I don't know. I don't know the whole story, but it sounds a little, I don't know. It sounds like there's a little something.
Well, okay.
Right.
All I will say is based off of, yes.
Yeah.
I feel that when there are moments in time in politics where we're just kind of like, yes.
Yeah. But internally,
yes, because we also
I mean, you have to, like, here's the thing is that we're so polarized right now that there's no working together. And so it truly is whoever is in power is going to do everything they can. Well, okay. If only the Democrats could get their act together. But yeah, and you see that especially in local government right now with how many trans bills there are and like anti-trans bills and all sorts of stuff like that. It just breaks my heart.
Yeah,
it's
crazy.
It really, really is. But I do think there has to be. You do not have to agree with anything that other person believes in. Absolutely. But you have to be able to work with them because there are things that the country has to do to move forward, you know? It's just tough.
I will say, just kind of like, I'm like, because I got to get this out, because I was just thinking about the whole Don Lemon situation. Listen, obviously, there are so many different sides to look at it, and you know what I mean? But I feel like it's moments like, specifically from my understanding, that was kind of put out there specifically in that situation was like that interview that he did with the NRA, you know, representative. And, you know, it's moments like that where like, how do I say this? It's moments like that where I understand, like, you have to take a stance in what you believe in. But also, like, going back to, like, my dad being like, no matter how I feel, like, I have to do a job. And he just kind of keeps it inside. And, like, I envy that because there are times where I'm like, I can't do it. And there are times where it's like, and so, like, with, you know, the whole rumors going around that one interview is apparently, supposedly, the reason why he was let go. And I was just kind of like, in that moment, I was watching it and I was like, dang, like, this NRA person is talking about, you know, how the NRA helped in the civil rights movement and all that stuff. And I was just kind of like, I felt where Don was coming from in that moment. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like, being so passionate about it. Like, did he go about it the right way? Some say no, because you're a professional and you have this job. Others say, do you? Because how is somebody from the NRA telling a black person about the, you know, civil rights movement? And it's just like, in those moments, it's like, that's where I'm like, it's hard for me to just,
I wouldn't have been able to swallow it either. I wouldn't have been able to, you know.
You know, and not to say that we know the situation. Yeah. Just like you guys, we all read stuff on social media and all that stuff. But, you know, just going off of what Don himself, you know what I mean, posted and stuff like that. It's just. Yeah. It's hard to keep. Yeah,
it really is. It's hard to keep neutral. I couldn't. You know, it's something like I try to be better at doing is speaking up because I think that's hugely important too, especially if you aren't part of the community, you know what I mean, and you're part of a more privileged community. It's absolutely important to like speak up, and I don't do enough of it. Absolutely,
right. I don't even do enough of it. A majority of us don't.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
And a part of it, I feel like it really has to do with fear.
Yeah.
Because
for
the world that we live in now, child.
You know what it is, too? And it's almost like fear of trying to be too much, too. Do you know what I mean? And like, but because then you almost feel like you're trying to like be a voice in a space where you shouldn't be. You know what I mean?
Or like taking someone's.
Yeah.
It could be looked at as like you're taking their voice and it's like, I'm right here. I can speak up for myself.
Right.
When in reality, it's like, no, I'm right with you. You know what I mean?
Right. So
and it's like finding that line.
Balance. Yes. Yeah. And that line of yeah. It's tough, guys. It's really tough.
But that's why you find your tribe.
Exactly.
And you find like-minded people.
Yes,
and
absolutely.
And also, too, if you find somebody that's part of your tribe that maybe isn't like-minded, it's just a simple fact of respecting each other.
Yes.
You have to find people that...
Knowing what conversations to have and not have.
Yes.
And know that person, if that person truly believes something completely different from you, they can be a friend, they can be an acquaintance or whatever, but they're probably not part of your tribe.
Yeah. And that's okay.
I'm sorry. Basic human rights, people.
Yeah.
Basic human rights is the level you need to be at for my tribe, is all I'm saying.
Slowly pushes bang I don't have out my eyes, girl.
Anyway, guys, now that we got super political, you're welcome.
Yes! But hey, listen.
I don't know why Red Velvet led to this. I mean,
it just did, because we were talking about flags and the ATs, and it all came full circle. But we hope that you guys love Red Velvet the same amount that we do, if not more, child, because they are everything.
Yes,
and you definitely got to give us all the suggestions, honey.
Yes, we can't wait to get into more, especially... I think I might even go back through the guide and pick songs.
Yeah.
You know, that we got little snippets of.
Yeah. It felt like an album sample. It was awesome.
It was really cool. But we hope you guys enjoyed listening to us go off on crazy tangents.
Bye.
But we love you guys so much.
Love you guys.
We'll see you guys soon. Bye.